afternoon, good evening, good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for back into Rage Quit Radio's live play series. I'm your host, the Ronin in the Know, Mr. Joe, and I'm joined by Travis Cooper today. And we're going to take a look at Love Letter. Now, the version we have is AEG's version that is Legend of the Five Rings inspired, because, well, everybody currently in the house is a big fan of L5R, and given Love Letter's simplicity, why not have rethemed skins? I know you've played a fair bit of this on your own.
I went and played this when it first was released at Gen Con like 3 or 4 or 5 years ago.
It's amazing how long that's been, if anything.
Yeah.
This is a game that a lot of people think of when they think of really portable games because, well, literally, see this fancy bag? It's not very large. Everything fits in it. And the game scales very well.
You can play it while drunk.
Oh yeah, that's always fun.
To mixed results.
I mean, I'm taking your word for it because I haven't.
But it's a very
we should get
just
Justin in
quick,
here for that type of thing.
lightweight game. It is literally only one person needs the game, and it'll go and play up to, I believe, 4 people.
That sounds about right. We're going to be playing just 2 players this time around. Apparently capping off a month of 2-player face-off style games, but that's just how today's these recordings have seemed to have gone. We'll be back in a moment because it's just more of changing the camera around, and we'll be playing a couple rounds of Love Letter for you today on RQR.
So,
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've done what little setup there is to this game, and Trav will have first play of the first round.
Do we want to go and explain to them any of the rules of the game, as simple as they are?
Might as well.
All right. So this game has literally a very short process of actions you can possibly take. You start with 1 card in hand, and on your turn, you draw a card, you play a card, and basically you do what the card says, and your goal is to go and make your opponent lose.
Or if we happen to somehow go through the entirety of the small 15-card deck, because you burn 1 card at the beginning of each round, then in the highest remaining value is the winner, and we have a list that is available to every player of what cards there are in the full 16-card deck prior to the burn. So, all right, go ahead.
So I'm going first. I will say Princess. see, guys.
That is literally
easy game.
That is literally as short as this could be sometimes. Wow, you can't get a quicker round.
All right. So to be clear about what occurred, the guard, which I played, you basically name a card in that you think is in the opponent's hand.
Other than another guard, right?
You can go and name you can name a.
Never mind.
Guard, I believe. Let's go and reference the card. Name a non-guard card.
Okay, so yeah.
So
they do that because there's 5 possible guards in a full deck.
So with that said, the goal is at the end of all the rounds to have the highest point card. The Princess is the highest point card, which means that if she is in your hand after we've gone through this deck, you win. But if she is ever discarded,
you lose.
And even if you choose to discard her for some reason, you lose because you discarded her. There are a bunch of cards that you discard them if another card is played. You have to go and be honest while playing this game. So I went and used the guard, which I named the Princess, and he had to go and discard the Princess,
and therefore lost.
All right. You may go first this time.
I will play a guard. I will say you have Hatamoto. That's value 5.
Until your next turn, ignore all effects from other players' cards.
In a 2-player format, the 4 value, in this case, is Shugenja with our version. It's really kind of annoying. I play a guard to no effect. Because I can't influence you.
Manipulator.
Yep. Diplomat.
No. I'll look at your hand.
Congratulations, I have a guard. There's no real point in hiding it in a 2-player version. Sensei.
No.
This is where keeping track of how many different things are played is sometimes useful.
Discard your hand and draw a new hand.
Poor Diplomat. You were useless. I will discard the Sensei.
Trade. Don't draw a guard.
Ha! Even better. Hatamoto. Hatamoto was the forces the discarding of the hand. Discard the princess. We are tied at 1-1. The base rules say played a first person of 4 affection tokens wins, which is actually nicely scalable to the cap of players pretty easily. And while that may seem like a short 2-player game, we had one round where it was literally the first card, and one round where we almost went the entirety of the deck. So, you know, each round can be quite variable. I should look what I have, shouldn't I? So I can answer questions.
Discard your hand, draw a new hand.
Goodbye, Sensei. Interesting. Show me your hand. Okay, he has a Shigenja. That's useful for information. Did you get the princess?
No. Six.
Manipulator?
Yeah.
No. All right, I'm going to make a play that is either going to be good or bad for me. I'm going to play the Diplomat. We compare hands, play with low values out of the round. I have a Shigenja. Woo! Risks, rewards. It's a thing. You can see how this game, even with its simplicity, can get very complicated when you're starting to treat it like poker. The sense of really trying to game your opponents and see if they do certain things over and over again.
Oh yeah, like one fun thing to do is if you actually have the princess in hand and you draw a guard, is to use the guard and name the princess. It goes and makes your opponent much less apt to think that you have the princess in hand then. Princess.
No. Just go ahead and discard yours. Hey, it's Shigenja. That's actually kind of useful.
Trade.
Goodbye, Sensei.
You can't. Oh. Ha. Alright.
Oh, wait, no, you're
I'll
right.
name 5 unless the card in your hand is a
Hold on.
Hatamoto. That's the only way you can discard him.
No, I'm just checking. I think you're right.
You have to play a card for its text.
No, of course you can also discard the Sensei even if you do not have either the Manipulator or Hatamoto. It's if you have them, you have to.
Okay.
Which is good because I had the Princess, that's why.
All right, I'll name it.
Yeah.
Why did you show me your hand?
That was my own damn fault. Yeah, that was my own damn fault.
Okay.
It's one of those moments where it's like, oh, I really didn't pay attention to what he was saying when he played that. It was like, you didn't have the 5, you lose. What? The key word there was, I played a guard, which is why. What you got? Okay.
I'll ignore your card effects.
I'm quite glad you did.
I'll look at your hand.
Oh, wonderful. Diplomat.
I don't lose the game for that, do I?
Yeah, you do.
Okay. Yep. All right.
See, I got it back after a really stupid screw up. This is the other fun part of this game. When you screw up, it's usually comical. Also, Trav is a much quicker shuffler than I am. Tap.
Look at your hand. Okay.
I have a diplomat. Oh. That's unfortunate. I have to play a diplomat. Because I drew the other one. And I've lost that round. Woohoo!
One more for this round. I mean...
Yeah, we're both at 3, so winner take all is the next hand.
So as you see, guys, this game is very quick, lightweight. You can go and get through a lot of rounds,
Really quickly.
in quick order. But it's not a brain dead game. You
No.
You have to go and think about what card was played and whether or not you have to go and respond in a specific manner.
And with more people, it will still play this fast. It just gets to a point where it's more about the tactic strategy. That's right. Alas, Sensei, you have to go.
Discard and redraw.
Hey, Diplomat.
Bang.
Oh! I took the risk. I didn't have the princess.
Yeah,
and
boy.
got back, ladies and gentlemen. We've done what little disassembly there is to this game.
I thumped him.
You did.
All skill. Nothing but skill. Purely.
One of the...
Of course,
We saw
anyone that actually goes back and watches the actual gameplay footage is going to go and completely call me out on that crap. But
my lack of skill in calling myself out by not paying attention of why I would lose, but if I didn't have the manipulator, because I didn't catch that in my head, would say that my lack of skill was definitely the reason for one of those rounds. No, but I mean, Love Letter is a very simple game. It's very portable. It's got 1,000,001 reskins. Apparently, there's even a Batman version I just now found out about, which is insane to me. But I mean, whether you go by standard or whether you're going standard, Batman, L5R edition, it's all just flavor and how pretty you want your cards in terms of art style. Because I'm imagining the Batman one is probably like straight comic style, and I mean the original is nice art, but it's definitely a different thematic when you're going with the Asian influence of the L5R set. In two-player mode, I think this game is a little bit less strategic because you get situations like double diplomat, and I know I only have one choice of target. Or situations where that last round, I was, with the cards I had, I was screwed one way or another, because if I did trade instead, I'd get the princess. He'd know it. He's looking for a guard, and we hadn't really run into many of the guards. There's 5 of them in the deck, and even if we burned one, that's 4 shots he could pull for. It gets a little sketchy like that. But that's also part of the strategy when you have more people. It just gets even better. Mm-hmm. And more people really doesn't change how long the game takes. each round is going to be pretty much as quick.
Well, yeah,
Not
there's a fixed number of cards. So in a 3 or 4 player game, at most anyone's going to go and have, I believe it is, let's see, 5, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1. So that is, there's like 15 cards, 14 cards.
I thought it was 16 and 15 after you burned. Whatever. Math. Yeah. I'm getting
16 game cards.
Yeah,
so
I was
there's
getting off
16.
screen. So you have 15 in any round, minus however many starting in
The
people's
box has
hands
text
before you
faults.
round. You can tell. Sometimes we're not thinking.
That's me most of the time.
Well, I'm glad we've swapped roles at the moment, because I was definitely doing some of that this game. But, I mean, any lengthening in multiplayer is just more of people trying to mind game it. That's where you have more of that than anything else in this game, because the mechanics are, as we said, pretty dead simple. And when you have the card references right next to you and the numbers, you can think it out mathematically and try and do odd stuff, or you can just play it naturally. That said, any other comments you want to make about Love Letter, Trav? Aside from, there's text in the box?
Again, it is a great game if you and your friends have to go and wait in line somewhere, or are just trying to go and burn a few minutes of time, because the rounds, as you saw, like the individual rounds were very short. We went through 7 rounds in 14 minutes. So
it works out nicely that
actually,
way.
I think we went and wasted 2 minutes on the clock beforehand. So we actually went through,
and one of those rounds was literally like 5 seconds.
So we went through 7 rounds in 12 minutes.
Yeah, and that was just playing to the recommended length. Which, again, if you're in line at a con, you might just go point for point and just do it for pride or whatever. You don't have to follow those rules in that sense. It's just what they recommend for that scaling into 4 players, given you only have so many bits. That's really the only problem. You only have so many bits.
Yeah.
I also love that pretty much every version of Love Letter has a velvet pouch. Now, we didn't use it for its intended purpose where you burn the cards, but it's also just how portable it is. We just like keeping the box around because boxes are nice for storage. That said, appreciate you watching this episode of RQR. Please feel free to check us over on Cafe Press where you can get swag like our nice RQR hat I'm wearing. Or if you want to do a more long-term support, we do finally have a Patreon up. If you check out that Patreon /ECS Network, we are very transparent of what we're going to use the money for. We have some target cumulative goals. I think right now it's $150 so we can get portable lighting rigs for the 3 primary locations, and because they're portable and RQR tends to move around a lot, we'll still be able to benefit here on RQR with those as well. Any future endeavors we will post as we get to them, but it's a nice option if you just want to throw in $1 or $2 a month. We do have a couple of things on Patreon to support your donations, to thank you for the donations, in addition to being very clear of what we're using that support for. Outside of that, we have social media all over the place. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Periscope. Feel free to check us out on any of those to keep track of not only Rage Quit Radio episodes, but every other production from the ECS Network gets coverage pretty much everywhere. Any last words from you, Trav? Are you in...
I just play games.
You show up on a lot of different things, right?
I go and show up on all of your varied, networks. It's like I'm friends with you guys or something.
It's like this network isn't really is more just about friends playing than anything else.
I like playing games.
Yeah,
that's why I go and keep showing back up.
It's probably like having me here.
And they actually usually
pretty good at rules. Because sometimes I'm not very good with rules.
I can typically figure out when I'm doing something wrong. I might not know what the correct rules are. At least I'll go and ask someone to go look at the rule book.
True enough. That said, folks, thanks again for tuning into RQR. I've been your own in the know, Mr. Joe. This has been Travis Cooper, and we will see you next time.